Today, we're going to talk about something I think we all struggle with, that huge, frustrating gap between having a great idea and actually making it happen. Well, there's a system for that, and it's called the action method. I mean, seriously, think about it. You have that brilliant concept, that game-changing project just sitting in your head, but for some reason, it just doesn't move forward. It stalls. Why does that happen? Over and over again. Well, it's a super common story, right? You get this flash of inspiration, you're all excited, and then nothing. It ends in inaction. Let's dig into why that is, and more importantly, how we can fix it. Yeah, this is where all those brilliant concepts go to die. But here's the thing about the idea graveyard. It's not filled with bad ideas. No, it's filled with really promising ones that just died because there was no clear path forward. The problem isn't a lack of creativity. It's a breakdown in execution. So what if there was a simple, structured way to stop this from happening? A system designed for this exact problem. Well, that's exactly what the action method is. This system was developed by Scott Belsky, and it's not about making more complicated plans. It's about making progress real and visible. It's a framework that forces you to be clear, and it turns those big, fuzzy visions into actual concrete results. So how does it actually work? Well, the beauty of it is in its simplicity. Let's break down the 3 core pieces that make this whole thing so incredibly effective. Believe it or not, every project, every meeting, basically everything you work on gets organized into just 3 buckets. That's it. You've got action steps, you've got references, and you've got back burner items. This simple structure is the whole secret. All right, let's start with the most important one by far, action steps. This is really the heart and soul of the method, and it's all about one thing: total and absolute clarity. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On the left, you've got a typical to-do list item: improve website design. I mean, what does that even mean? Where do you even start? It's so vague, it's practically inviting you to procrastinate. But now, look at the right side. That's a real action step. It's got a verb, it's specific, and it has a deadline. Redesign homepage layout and present 3 options by Monday. There is zero confusion about what needs to happen. And that is why this is so powerful. All of a sudden, there's no confusion. You know exactly what the task is. You can assign responsibility, which creates accountability. And that deadline, it lights a fire, it creates urgency. It basically makes it impossible to procrastinate. This is how you build real, actual momentum. Okay, let's move on to the second component, references. The easiest way to think about this is like your project's own personal library. It's all the important supporting material you need, but, and this is key, it's not work you actually have to do. This is a perfect example. That competitor analysis document, super important. You need it for context when you're building your marketing strategy, but reading it isn't an action step. By putting it in the references bucket, you keep your to-do list clean and focused only on the things that need to get done. And that brings us to our third and final component, back burner items. I like to call this the brilliant but not right now folder. It's a designated parking lot for all those good ideas that just aren't the top priority at this moment. And this is just so smart, because what happens when someone throws out a great but totally distracting idea in a meeting? You don't want to shut it down, but you also can't let it derail you. You just say, great idea, let's put it on the back burner. That way, those valuable insights are never lost, but you keep your focus locked on what matters today. All right, so now we get the theory. Let's talk about where this system really, really shines in the real world: fixing meetings. Yes, finally. We've all been there, right? That meeting that drags on and accomplishes nothing. Well, we can fix that. The action method can turn any meeting from a total time waster into a super productive session just by thinking about it in 3 phases: before, during, and after. The real magic happens during the meeting itself. Instead of just passively taking notes, you're actively sorting the entire conversation into those 3 buckets we just talked about. Anytime someone agrees to do something, boom, it becomes an action step with their name and a due date next to it. Someone shares a useful link or a document, that's a reference. Someone has a "what if we tried this someday" idea, that goes straight to the back burner. And the result is honestly a game changer. You walk out of that room not with some vague memory of what was discussed, but with a crystal clear list of who is doing what and by when. This one simple habit completely ends that awful cycle of having follow-up meetings just to talk about what you talked about in the last meeting. Okay, let's bring it all home. How can you start using this, like, right now? Look, if you remember just one single thing from all this, let it be this. The action method is all about choosing action over abstraction. It's a system designed to force you to stop just thinking about the work and start to finding the actual physical steps to get it done. And the benefits? They're immediate and they're huge. You get rid of confusion for your entire team. You build a culture where people are accountable for what they say they'll do. You stop that feeling of information overload that just paralyzes so many projects. And maybe most important of all, you sharpen everyone's focus on what actually moves the needle. So I'll just leave you with this question. Think about one of your ideas, something that's been stuck in that idea graveyard for way too long. What is the very first, very specific, tangible action step you can define for it right now?